Welcome back, everybody, to the Pokemon SoulSilver playthrough. This is part 13, and of course, we are moving on into the fanciness of Route 34. And this is apparently where this youngster does his training. So you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and follow him. Yeah, I'm going to copy him, and I'm going to do my training here, too. I'm going to train on his Rattata. Yeah, see how he likes that. Super speed it, because I can do that. Now, I meant to get to this in the last video, and I know I told a couple people that I meant to do this in the last video, but I will most certainly get to those fancy shoutouts that I did indeed ask you guys for some time ago in this video. And that being said, I completely forgot what I was going to say, so go me. Anyway, so now we got ourselves a brand new Pokemon. Oh, that's what I was going to say. We got a level up for someone. I can't remember now. Anyway, Fluffer showing off his fancy Bullet Seed attack. Totally destroyed that Rattata in the first Sandshrew of the playthrough here. Gonna mess this Sandshrew up too with Bullet Seed. Oh, it thinks it's gonna do Defense Curl? Psh, get out of here with that nonsense. Alright, so anyway, here we go with those fancy shoutouts. Of course, I did ask people what their favorite memory of Pokemon was, or just their favorite memory involving Pokemon, as well as a follow-up question, if they felt like it, what was their favorite Pokemon? So our very first one is going to come from Scott MKW Bob, and his best Pokemon memory is 2 words, Pokémon Silver. That was his first favorite game of all time when he was 7. Or no, that game was his favorite game of all time. I don't know where I got the word first from. Oh no, Fluffer's in trouble. Fluffer. Well, at least that Sandshrew is poisoned. Oh, we got Synthesis. Yeah, we're good to go. Alright, Fluffer's got this. And Scott's favorite Pokemon is, of course, Bulbasaur. I love how I said, of course, like people are supposed to know that. He's number 1 in more ways than one. Yeah, I can totally get behind that. I approve of that. That was definitely... That was clever. That was clever. Finally, done with this Sandshrew. Man, you think he took enough hits? I think he sure did. But now he's out of here, and Fluffer gets himself a level up to level 15. Of course. Because that's what comes after 14, usually. Anyway, next one. Applejack 407. Oh, I had to add this one in. This one was just too funny. Applejack 407 says, my favorite Pokemon is Darkrai, or whatever his name is, I forget. Yeah, you know, everybody loves Darkrai, you know? Best Pokemon I ever saw. Anyway, Bats in Video Games gonna take care of this silly old Spearow getting a level up too. Well, what does that Spearow think he is? He's just a guy that's there. Gotta love VGA Poppy Brightman. It sure makes that screen look great. And yeah, I think basically the reason why I didn't get to any of that in the last part, or, you know, information, for that matter, was because there was just a lot happening in the last part. It was a pretty short video, and a lot happened. So, you know, I did talk about what was going on screen. Now, this guy left his Snubbull in the daycare center because he's such a lazy trainer. And now we're gonna battle it, you know, because he can do that. You gotta love how absolutely just gorgeous Snubbull looks. I mean, wow, look at that thing charming my Red Ranger. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's got the greatest looking face ever and such. I think it says something about that on its Pokédex info, you know, ages ago, about how people do find Snubbull to be a beautiful Pokemon. It's all in the eye of the beholder. But anyway, Ninguno65 says his favorite memory was when he won 5 badges in a single day. He was like 8 years old, and he was playing the blue version. Yeah, you know, that's always fun. And his favorite Pokemon is undoubtedly Lucario, because everybody loves Lucario. Although, I have said this before, I don't think Lucario's that great, you know? I mean, I kind of get a sense of, like, he doesn't really, like, I don't really like him that much, you know? It's just preference. And the fact that, you know, there's also a little bit of the fact that how it seems like he's just a little bit overrated. Just my opinion, you know? Nobody yell at me for that. Yeah, I know people are gonna yell at me for that, and to them I say, be quiet! So, yeah, I mean, Lucario, you know, he's been in, like, promotional things, he's been in Brawl, he's been in his own movie, I mean, come on. He's like the next Pikachu. Alrighty then. Finally getting rid of that Snubbull. Thank you, Bats and Video Games, for taking care of that. Where, Red Ranger simply could not, because, well, it kept doing Charm, okay? And that was pretty annoying. So it basically made Red Ranger's attack go down to that much. The Frozen Warrior says, my favorite Pokemon memory was when I hit 100 hours and getting my first non-cheating level 100 Pokemon on Silver. It felt like I had accomplished something in a game. Okay. And his favorite Pokemon is Furret, :3. Yeah, good old Furret. Always being nutty and wacky and having its own minigame in Pokemon Stadium, too. Alright then, so knocking out that Mareep like it was some sort of trouble when it really wasn't. And, oh, plenty of money from that dude. And his child, apparently. That'd be terrible, you know? He took the money from his child. Now his child's not gonna get a Christmas because I defeated him in battle. Wow. I'm very, very sorry. Truly and unequivocally, I apologize. Alright then. So this kid's the best in his class at Pokemon. I'm going to show him why he's not. Anyway. What am I even saying? You know, I'm like, I'm so messed up right now, and I don't know why. He might be the best in his class at Pokemon, but you know, there are other people outside of his class that are better than him at Pokemon. There we go. Now I'm on the ball. First Mankey of the playthrough, Wacky Mankey. Remember how Ash had a Primeape and he just left it and we never saw it again? I hate that he like does that with his Pokemon. Oh no! Wow, I actually thought that was gonna do a lot more. I don't like low kick at all. It always, like, fighting type moves always seem to screw my Pokemon over so badly. And I don't know why, it just does. Ah, another new Pokemon. Diglett. Diglett. I can't do that one. Diglett. Diglett, dig, Diglett, dig. Trio, trio, trio. Okay, okay. Let's calm down. Everybody calm down. Alright, so I'm going to take out this Diglett with Fluffer, of course. Hopefully that sand attack doesn't mess me over. Oh, Diglett. Probably one of the most enigmatic Pokemon ever. And only taken down in, what is that, 2? Yep, 2 hits from Bullet Seed. Wow. It's like, what is that thing? Like, what is it underneath? You know, how come it can never come out of the ground? What's under it? You know? Is there, like, more of its body underground? You know, how does it dig around and stuff? These are questions that we will probably never know. But there have been funny fan pictures describing what may or may not be underneath Diglett. Such as Professor Oak, but that's something for a different time. Alright, Picnicker Gina. Oh, she's got herself her own Fluffer. But it's not a Fluffer, it's a Hoppip. That's, you know, Hoppips, they should be Fluffers, you know? Everybody should have a Fluffer. And enjoy their Fluffer. Because you don't know how much time you're going to have with that Fluffer. Brings a tear to my eye. First Bulbasaur to play through. Here we go. One of the rarest Pokemon. I mean, how did she even get her hands on this Bulbasaur? I would love to know how she found this Bulbasaur. Whatever. I guess it's another one of those questions that we simply will not ever find out. Ever. And that's, you know, that's just upsetting. Alright then. So moving on to another shout out. The Frozen Warrior says, my favorite Pokemon memory. Never mind, I already read that one. Skystorm98 says, my favorite Pokemon memory was probably when I finished my Fire Red Nuzlocke run. Took me about 6 months. And his favorite Pokemon is Chandera, which is the 5th generation chandelier looking thing. That thing is so freaky. I've seen that thing. Nuzlocke run. Somebody suggested that to me. And I actually did not know what the heck it was. And then I looked it up and I was like, not happening. Not happening. It's basically if one of your, like, there are a few rules to it. One of the rules is that if any of your Pokemon faint, you can never use that Pokemon again. You have to put it in the storage and then release it. That's it. And basically, like, what was it? It was like you can only, I swear it was like you can only catch a certain amount of Pokemon as well. But anyway, first Drowsy the playthrough, and it's got this fancy special ability called Forewarn, which forewarns it to one of the attacks that the enemy has. It's just so useless. I don't much care for Drowsy. He was never one of my favorites. I mean, albeit he's a psychic type, just didn't much care for him. And of course he's going to disable Bite. So you know what? I got Leech Life. That's super effective to you too, mister. Yeah, take that. That. There we go. Oh, it didn't even take him out. Friggin'. You know what? Let's read some of that fancy information. The critical response to Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver. I was waiting to get to this. In response to the news confirming the development of HeartGold and SoulSilver, fans posted their reactions and commentary on the internet. This, like they're gonna go somewhere else. In particular, IGN editor Jack DeVries reasoned that the primary reason for the updated games was to be compatible with Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. And I just had to point this out. There is Lyra. That's apparently her name. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. It's Lyra. And I also forgot to mention that I really, really like her theme song. It's just awesome. I don't know what else to say besides that, but I just like it. And interestingly enough, if you pick Lyra as your character, the male character, Ethan, his theme song is actually the same song, just with a different sort of deeper pitch. You know. Anyway, so now we're up to the daycare place, where you can have Pokemon play and possibly even breed with each other. But now, oh, that's right. But now, here we go. Yeah, now finally, Lyra gives me her PokéGear number. Like it's taken her this long, and conveniently enough, she does it in front of her grandma and grandpa. That's apparently who the since Lyra was introduced in this game, they had to have her have some family. So they decided that the daycare couple would be her grandma and grandpa. And Magikarp, what do you think of that? Something smells good. Well, you know what? We're leaving. And she had to do it in front of her grandma, who insinuates that there is something between the two characters. You know, and it's quite embarrassing to her. I mean, why wouldn't it be? So now we also get the Daycare Man and Lady's PokéGear number. But, to be honest, I don't think I'm going to be using them at all. Just saying. Oh yeah, here's the skittish police guard who will only battle you at night because he's skittish and he thinks that you're like a burglar or something. I don't know. What are you gonna burgle? The daycare center? Get out of here. Oh no, but that's true. You know, people do steal Pokemon. Team Rocket. Sigh-yi-yi, it's the first Psyduck of the playthrough. Oh my god. Who doesn't love Psyduck? I know Misty does. Oh, that wacky Psyduck. Always jumping out and being useless and not being the Pokemon that Misty wanted to call out. That was just great times. I didn't much care for Psyduck. He's pretty much like Wobbuffet to me. So anyway, back to the critical response. They wanted the games to be compatible with Diamond and Pearl, allowing players to collect old Pokemon species that were previously unobtainable in the new games. He also expressed skepticism that the new titles could match the quality of the originals, stating, "For me, Gold and Silver were amazing because they introduced so many new features that have since become standards for the series. It is the first and only time the Pokemon games have made such a significant expansion. These days, we're lucky if we get a new feature that invisibly changes the strategic elements of the game." Boy, he's been quite the cynic towards the Pokemon series, and now isn't he? Although I will agree that Pokemon Gold and Silver were just plain amazing. Gonna just go ahead and say that. I love Generation 2. And as you saw, I was really taking a risk there with Citizen Zap and that Psyduck, but you know what? Citizen Zap pulled through. He totally whooped that Psyduck and showed him who's the boss. It's me. TM63 Embargo. One of the new attacks. And we're here in beautiful Goldenrod City, but we're not going to be staying long. We're in the Pokemon Center. And a super move time skip. Right towards me saving the game. So, yeah, that's about it for this part. Join me in part 14, where we'll be moving on through Goldenrod City. How did Magikarp stretch out his body? He's a fish. Weird.